Hi everyone, my name is Frede and today we're going to talk about sort of my 2019 resolutions for like reading and this channel and a few things that have nothing to do with BookTube at all, but we're going to talk about that at the end. I wrapped up my 2018 favourites and I did a video for my statistics, reading statistics, and partially based on that but also partially just based on how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking. I thought today we're going to sit down and film my sort of goals for this year. And I did a video like this last year as well, and I think for the most part at the end of the year I wasn't thinking about it anymore because I did do sort of I guess check-in videos after each quarter of the year sort of, but I think I was still not really holding myself accountable, so I'm going to try and sort of change that, implement some ways I can sort of try and keep myself accountable, or in case I don't care about the goals anymore, sort of change them throughout the year. We'll see how that goes. I have no idea what this year is going to bring. But I'm definitely not going to be as ambitious with the number of books that I'm planning to read this year. So the last 2 years my reading goal was 70 books and I managed fine with that. But this year I decided to just do the thing that a lot of people do, just say 52 books. So more or less a book per week. We'll see how that goes, but I think I should be fine with that. Also, one thing that I would like to do is read a short story collection each month. I actually really enjoy most of the short stories that I usually read, but I don't read a lot of short story collections. And it just sort of sounds like a nice way for me to sort of try and read more short stories, but to also not just force them, because a short story collection is obviously usually not all that long, so I can just slowly make my way through one of those each month, and I think that should be something that might be really nice, and I hope to try and actually do that this year. Also, one thing that I would like to do is sort of try and read my TBR in a bit of a way that I haven't approached before. So usually I'm just a person, I just grab whatever I want off my shelf and just read that. And I mean, that's fine, I don't mind that. I want to read all of those books that I own, otherwise I wouldn't own them. But one thing that I want to try, and I want to try that in two ways, as sort of maybe read the books I wouldn't necessarily gravitate towards, that I still want to read, but I'm not like, I need to read this right now. And so, in case you watch the videos by Olive over at Book Olive, you will know that every month she chooses one book off her TBR, of her I think it's actually her Goodreads TBR list of books she doesn't actually own, but I'm not exactly sure about that. But she chooses one book via a random number selection. And my Goodreads to read list is so long, I think it's about 580 books or something, because whenever I watch a video or when I talk to someone and they recommend me a book, I'm just like, oh yeah, I might try and check that out at some point, and just add it to my Goodreads to read list, and that's just where it stays, for the most part. So I want to try to both tackle my physical TBR as well as the list on Goodreads, in the sense that I will use a random number selection every month, and in the odd numbers it will be a book of my physical TBR. So this month I used a random number selection, and I want to use this specifically for my physical TBR to read all the books that I got before 2018, because I still have a few books from 2017 on my TBR, and I kind of want to try and push myself to read those. So this month I will try and read Goodbye to Berlin by Christopher Isherwood. This was sort of the result from the random selection from that month. And then in the months with even numbers, I want to use the random selection to select a book of my TBR list on Goodreads, because there are so many books on there that I just forget about as soon as I put them on there. So I want to try and in a few days sort of try and sit down, actually more or less go through this list, just delete everything off it that when I read it, I don't understand why it is on that list anymore. And then I really want to try and sort of, at least every other month, get a book from that list that I maybe don't really have on my radar right now. If you've seen my reading statistics video, you will have seen that the majority of the books that I read or that I read last year were either from European or North American authors, and in the video I talked about how I kind of want to try and change that. So sort of a goal that I'm setting myself this year, or not really a goal, but just something that I want to kind of have as a mindset, is really trying to read authors who are from continents that are not North America or Europe. So I want to read any South American author, because if you've watched the video will also know that I did not read a single South American author last year. So I want to read South American authors, I want to read African authors, I want to read Asian authors, and also, what's that adjective? Oceanian authors from, I can't even, Oceania? Australia and New Zealand and all that. All those islands that I, you know, counted for that continent. I want to try and really sort of widen my horizons when it comes to that. We'll see how that goes, but I just kind of want to sort of try and check in with myself using my spreadsheet and seeing if I really do that. You know, because last year I think I said the same thing, that I wanted to read from other places than just Europe and North America, but throughout the year I didn't really check in with myself and try to check if I was actually doing that, because I was not doing that. So, you know, I want to kind of try and have that a bit more in my brain while I read, while I select the books, all of that. And then also one thing that I really want to do this year is finally finish Les Miserables. So, almost 2 years ago, in 2017, around like August or September I think, I started reading Les Miserables. There's a video that I have not rewatched, but sometimes people keep watching it because they type in Les Miserables review and they find this video, and I think it's probably a terrible video where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna read Les Miserables and I'm gonna make regular videos where I talk about my process of reading this book. Then I made 2 videos of my process of reading this book, one in like October or November and one last year in like March, I think. And then I just completely stopped reading this book. And we need to continue with that. I really, really want to read this book, but I think I have to push myself a bit more, because just the size of it is just intimidating. But I really want to try and sort of make my way through this book this year. And tying into that, I would also know if you like those of you who actually watch my videos regularly and don't just type in Les Miserables book review, if you're actually interested in that video series. Because if not, I'm just not even gonna bother making those videos. But I don't know, maybe you're interested in it, maybe you're not. Just let me know sort of if you want me to make those videos, because I was planning to make a video after I finish each volume. So I still have 4 volumes left of Les Miserables, which would make 4 videos sort of for that. I don't want to call it series, I don't know, but for that type of video that I was planning to make but never really ended up making regularly. But maybe you're interested in it, let me know if you are, and I'm really gonna try and do this year. Okay, and talking about that Les Miserables video thing sort of generally ties into things that I kind of think about my videos that I want to make this year. So if you've been watching me for a while, you will have seen that at the end of a month or at the beginning of a new month I make sort of a TBR update, or I did that last year. And I was thinking about doing something similar this year, but not exactly the same, because I started those videos in the middle of last year because I was adding too many books to my TBR and I wanted to sort of hold myself accountable to actually reading and trying to decrease my TBR. That isn't as much a priority right now. We're going to talk about book buying in a tiny bit, but I still sort of liked the idea, and a few people commented that they liked the idea of like a video sort of summing up everything that I read in a month, the books that I added to my TBR, books that I got rid of, things like that. So I was thinking about doing something similar this year, just that it's not necessarily focused on decreasing my TBR. So I don't necessarily want to do like monthly reading wrap-ups the way that I used to, or the way that a lot of people do, because those just end up being way too long, because I just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, and I know that. At the end of a month, or at the beginning of a new month, I want to make a video called Reading Month, where I talk about sort of everything that I read very briefly. Maybe talk about books that I got, talk about books that I DNF'd or unhauled. This is supposed to be like very brief, just a little overview. For me, sort of maybe to reflect on my reading month, to reflect on my goals, just something like that. So that's kind of what I want to do, and then when I have books that I actually have a bit more to say about, I want to make a separate recent reads video for that. That I won't talk about every book that I read. It might take a while between me reading a book and me talking about a book, and this is sort of how I want to try and go about it. Okay, now we're gonna go into something that when I made my reading stats video I was like not too happy about it, which is my book buying. So I don't necessarily feel bad about spending money on things that I enjoy. So I had a few people comment like, you know, this is your hobby, you shouldn't feel bad for spending money on books. And that's true. I don't feel bad per se for spending money on books. I'm happy supporting bookshops, I'm happy supporting authors. But one thing I feel bad about is my lack of discipline, and also the fact that most of the time I can't really keep up with everything that I'm buying. So something that I just kind of want to try this year. And this won't be difficult, it's just something that I kind of need to tell myself, and then I'm going to be able to do it. But sometimes I visit bookshops that are amazing. So last year I visited Gaze the Word in London, I visited Brighton, and there was just this really cute bookshop, and it was, you know, complete English language bookshop, which is something that I usually don't have access to. And when I usually visit those amazing bookshops, I just end up buying a ton of books, which is ridiculous. But there's something in me when I'm in a bookshop that I really like. And I mean, with Gaze the Word especially, it's like I also want to support this shop. I can't come to this shop, you know, all the time. So I think I just kind of want to try and don't get into this thing where I'm like, I need all of these books. They will still exist even after I leave the shop, and I will still be able to buy them, you know, a few months after that, or next year, or the year after. So I don't know if that makes sense, but maybe some of you also get into this rush when you're in a bookshop and you're like, I want to buy everything, and I kind of need to be able to restrain myself a bit, because it's ridiculous. I just buy more than I can keep up with reading. And that kind of ties into a thing that I have caught myself doing sometimes, and have been able to be like, no, stop doing this shit. But there are still a few books on my TBR that I bought because of that. And this is sort of this buying a book because I think, oh, at some point I'm going to want to read this. So especially a lot of classics on my TBR are on my TBR because I've seen them in a shop and thought, oh, one day I'm going to want to read those. So those are usually books that I buy in secondhand shops or in charity shops. So they're not as expensive, so it's not like a money thing. That annoys me about it. It's just a thing of when I'm not super excited about a book, I might want to try and question if I really need to buy this right now. So I guess I just kind of want to try and change my mindset a bit when it comes to buying books. And now I also have 3 things that I kind of just want to try and do this year that don't necessarily have anything to do with reading. So the first thing is about films. I'm not a film person at all. I really like watching TV series, but I don't really have the attention span and the patience to sit down and watch a 2-hour-long film. So I hardly know any films at all. And it is something that has always kind of bothered me in a way, because I know that there are a lot of amazing films out there. So this year I kind of want to try and watch 52 films, so sort of a film a week. I sort of got this idea when I watched a video by Yamini where she talked about how she set herself the challenge to do that last year and how she wants to continue this year. And I thought, you know what, why not? I'm gonna try this. So I've seen 2 films so far this year, so I'm on track with that. But this is just something that I kind of want to try and do throughout the year, just try and watch more films, because it is a different type of storytelling than a TV series. Also something that I want to do this year is knit myself a jumper. So if you've seen I think it was my catch-up video, I talked about how I was knitting socks, and it was a lot of fun. Also, I made 2 pairs of socks, one for one each for both my grandmas. Made them those for Christmas. They loved them. I'm currently finishing off a pair of socks from one of my friends. So a lot of the things that I knit are presents, and I love gifting presents, you know. I love knitting other people's socks. But I wanted to make something for myself, and I want to make myself a jumper. This is something I've been saying for like 2 years, that I want to make myself a jumper. But I also feel like in the meantime my knitting skills have improved a bit. And last year for Christmas, I didn't ask for this, but my mum got me this and I'm really excited. She got me this huge like knitting book for jumpers, and it had like basic things for like basic neck and basic like body shape and basic sleeves, and then it just gives you like, it's difficult flipping through this, but it gives you just a ton of, there are a few pictures in there, but it gives you just a ton of ways to do jumpers. And I'm going to go through this at some point and just decide on sort of what I want to do, and then I'm gonna try and knit myself a jumper this year, and I'm really excited for that. And then also one of the big things that I really want to do this year, that I know I said the exact same thing last year and that didn't happen because life got in the way, but I want to try and finish my degree this year. So I'm slowly sort of getting towards a topic for my undergrad dissertation, and I just need to sit down, do some research, put some thoughts in, lower the expectations I have of myself. So yeah, I just really want to try and finish my degree this year. This is like, I think the big thing. So I hope that doing this won't interfere too much with being on BookTube. I want to try and put up videos regularly. I'm not sure if I will be able to do like one video a week. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, finishing my degree is like the big priority, I guess, for the first half of the year. So keep your fingers crossed for me that I will finally be able to do that, because I'm just tired of feeling like I'm not getting anywhere. But yeah, so those are sort of my plans for the year, most of them reading, some of them not reading. If you've also made like a video where you talk about your reading goals or like general plans for the year or anything, let me know, because I'm interested in what other people have planned for this upcoming year. So let me know about that. I'm gonna watch that video. If you don't make videos, just leave it in the comments if you want to share with me what you're planning to do this year. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time. Bye!